Hello everyone. In the previous video, I had discussed about two phylums, that was phylum Echinodermata and phylum Hemichordata. Phylum Hemichordata is the last one under non-chordates. Now here coming to the last phylum, that is phylum Chordata. Now this is, the name suggests chordate, means over here this is little different from the others, and this is different because of presence of our structure which is called over here as notochord, which is not found in all other phylum starting from the beginning Porifera to Hemichordata. Now other characteristics that are present, or otherwise the organisms classified under the phylum Chordata, they are characterized by some of the features, different or distinct features. The first one is the presence of notochord, which is present in the members of Chordata. Now here we will be discussing little later about different subphylum or three subphylums which are classified under this phylum Chordata. Means what? There are some differences in the presence of this structure called as notochord, and the duration means the life stage, as to at what stage the presence of notochord is found in them. The second characteristics, that is the presence of a dorsal hollow nerve cord. In the figure you can see here dorsal, what is that? Dorsal hollow nerve cord is present in case of the members of phylum Chordata. Apart from that, pharyngeal gill slits are present. They have bilateral symmetry, triploblastic juvenile layer, and coelomate, means the body cavity is present. And the level of organization over here is organ system level. We have studied already about organ system level of organization, where it started. So this is the last phylum where more complex organisms are included. And in this phylum, presence of a post-anal tail also is present, and circulatory system is present, which is closed type. Let us see the difference between the chordates and non-chordates. What is the difference between chordates? We are calling here this phylum as chordate. So what are the characteristics possessed by the chordate which is distinct or different from non-chordate? First one, already we discussed about the presence of a notochord, whereas this structure is not present in case of non-chordates. The second one is the nervous system is present. Central nervous system is there, which is found on the dorsal side of the body and has hollow and single. Means here the nervous system, central nervous system is dorsal, it is hollow and single. Whereas same thing in case of non-chordate, it is found on the ventral part of the body, and it is solid and double. Means double nerve cord is present in case of non-chordates. The third point here in case of chordate, that is the pharynx is having the presence of gill slits, means perforated. Pharynx is perforated by presence of gill slits, whereas the gill slits are absent in case of non-chordate. Then the location of heart is ventral in case of chordate, and it is dorsal. If it is present, it is dorsal in case of non-chordate. And the last point here, the post-anal tail is present. And in case of the non-chordates, post-anal tail is absent. As I said earlier, that the phylum Chordata has been divided into three subphylum. Starting with the first one, that is called as Urochordata, Cephalochordata second one, and third one is the Vertebrata. Now coming to some of the distinct structure or otherwise the character of each of these three subphylum, and then we are going to study in detail about vertebrata. Further classification we will see, and then study about the characteristics of each of the groups that we are going to come into classes. The first one over here, the subphylum of the phylum Chordata is called as Urochordata or Tunicata. Urochordata or Tunicata. Now in this, the animals which are classified, they have notochord. They have notochord, but only in the larval stage, and that also only in the tail part. Presence of notochord is found in the larval tail over here in case of the members of Urochordata, and the examples included here are Asidia, Salpa and Doliodum. Asidia, Salpa and Doliodum are the examples of subphylum Urochordata, whereas the second one, Cephalochordata, and in this the animals are having notochord starting from the head to the tail region. Means the presence of notochord is there, and that also throughout the length of their body. And plus one more thing is there, it is found throughout their life. It is not only during the larval stage or only adult stage, but this is found, the structure notochord is found in the member of Cephalochordata throughout their life. And the examples that are included here are Branchiostoma, which is commonly called as Amphioxus or lancelet. Amphioxus or lancelet. Now coming to the third one, third subphylum. But before that here, Urochordata and Tunicata. Urochordata or Tunicata and Cephalochordata. Both of these subphylums are generally or very often it is called as protochordates. It is called as protochordate. If you remember, when we had studied about the phylum Hemichordata, we had discussed that this phylum was earlier placed as a subphylum under the phylum Chordata, but it has been assigned in a separate now. It has been classified now as a separate phylum. Here we are talking about these two subphylum, Urochordata or Tunicata and Cephalochordata. They are referred as what? Protochordates. Now coming to the third subphylum of phylum Chordata is Vertebrata. Now in this, what happens? The presence of notochord is there, but this is only during the embryonic period, not all throughout the life, not only in the developmental stage. This is only when the embryo is developing. At that time, what happens? The presence of notochord is there. Later on, this notochord is replaced by a skeleton that is made up of either the bone or cartilage. Once again, notochord is replaced over here by cartilaginous or bony vertebral column. That is, I am talking here about the backbone or vertebral column. If you remember, when we had discussed earlier about the presence of notochord, what is actually notochord? It is a rod-like structure which gives support to the body during the embryological development. So here, the presence of notochord in case of the members of vertebrata is there during the embryonic stage. Later on, what happens? This is replaced by a backbone which is made up of either cartilage or otherwise the bone. Now the vertebrates over here have ventral muscular heart with 2, 3 or 4 chambers. As we start from the fishes, the class Pisces we are going to study. From there, when we start, you have to note down the heart, how many chambers it has, how it has developed from 2 chambers to 3 and then 3 to 4 chambers in case of birds and mammals. So here the members of vertebrate or vertebrata, they are having a muscular heart which is found on the ventral side of their body, which are either having 2 chambers, 3 chambers, or otherwise 4 chambers. Coming to the next point, we are talking about what? The excretory organ. The kidneys are the excretory organ here, and it is also responsible for regulating the balance of the salt and water. So that's why here osmoregulation. Kidneys are responsible here for excretion and osmoregulation. And the last one over here is what? The paired appendages are present here, which may be in the form of fins or otherwise in the by the presence of limbs over here in higher classes. That is starting from, you can say, amphibian, reptilia, aves, and then mammalia. All of them are having limbs, but only in case of fishes the presence of fins are there, so that they are able to move themselves from one place to another. That means what here? That all vertebrates here, we can say, all vertebrates are chordates. All vertebrates are chordate, but all chordates are not vertebrate, because all chordates means what? The subphylum, all three will be included here: Urochordata, Cephalochordata, and Vertebrata. All three subphylums are included as chordate. But when we are talking about this statement here that all vertebrates are chordate, this sentence is correct. But all chordates are not vertebrate. Means here chordate means all these are included. All three subphylums are included as chordate. But what happens here? Vertebrates, all vertebrates over here are chordate without any exception. Now coming to the subphylum Vertebrata, we are going to discuss this subphylum in greater detail here. Now let us see first of all the classification as to how the subphylum Vertebrata has been further classified into two division, and later on into superclasses and then classes. Now see here the subphylum Vertebrata. This has been divided into two divisions. The first one is called are actually the members who do not have the presence of jaw. I hope you understand what is jaw. We are having two jaws, upper and lower jaw, and with the help of that jaw, means in the lower and upper jaw, in our case, what happens? The teeth has been embedded, or teeth is fixed. So with the help of the movement of our jaw, we are able to chew, we are able to speak. At present I am talking and I have to move the jaw up or down, and inside the buccal cavity, the movement of tongue, the involvement of the teeth and the lips, right? It makes us, or it helps us to create different or produce different kind of sounds. Let us come back here. What we are talking here, that is subphylum Vertebrata is divided into two subdivisions. One is Agnatha and Gnathostomata here. The second one is Gnathostomata. Now Agnatha, here they are jawless, means without the presence of upper and lower jaw, but they are having here the mouth part which is circular. The mouth part over here circular and sucking type, and it contains only one class, that is Cyclostomata. Little later we are going to discuss about this class, that is Cyclostomata. The second division is Gnathostomata, which are having the presence of jaws. Gnathostomata, the members here are having jaws, means the lower and upper jaw is present over here. This Gnathostomata is further divided into two superclasses. These two superclasses are Pisces and the second one is tetrapoda. In case of fishes, limbs are not present, but here what happens, the fins are present, means the members of fishes, they bear fins so that they can move their fins and they can swim in the water, in that is a habitat for them. And when we come to the second superclass, that is called as tetrapoda. Tetrapoda means tetra, you understand, 4, poda is feet, means what, 4, what is that, limbs are present. That is, we can say as 2 pair, 4 limb and hind limbs. We'll come to this. First let us see here fishes. Now this superclass fishes has been further classified into 2 classes. Superclass 2 are there, fishes and tetrapoda. Now these both superclasses are further divided. So fishes over here is divided into 2 classes. The first one is called as chondrichthyes and the second one is called as osteichthyes. Chondrichthyes means what? These are bony fishes. Cartilaginous fishes. Chondrichthyes are cartilaginous fishes, whereas the class osteichthyes, they are bony fishes. That means their skeleton here in case of osteichthyes is made up of bones, whereas in case of chondrichthyes the skeleton is made up of cartilage. And when we come under the tetrapoda, superclass tetrapoda, which are bearing or which have 2 pair of limbs, they are classified into 4 classes. They are classified into 4 classes, that is starting from the first one, amphibia. Class amphibia, second one is reptilia, third one is aves, and last one over here, fourth one and last one is the mammalia, where we are included. We are classified under this group, that is this class mammalia. Now let us see this first division, what I had discussed just now in the classification here. Agnatha, they are jawless. So under this one class is included which is called as cyclostomata. Now all the members here are having circular mouth part or circular mouth they have, which is of sucking type. Means with the help of this circular mouth they are able to suck the food or whatever is available to them. They do not have jaw like we have, and they live generally as an ectoparasite on other fishes. Ectoparasite means what? They are not living inside the body, but they are found on the outer side of the body of some fishes. So once again, all members here are having circular mouth which is sucking type without the presence of jaw, and they live as an ectoparasite on some other fishes. The habitat, that is the place where they live, that is marine. Marine means the salty water. But one adaptation has been seen over here, that when they have to lay eggs, the process of releasing the egg and sperm over here is called as spawning. This process is called as spawning. And for spawning, what happens? They have to swim to fresh water. Once again, what is that? Habitat is marine, but they come to the fresh water for spawning. That is the process in which what happens? The male and the female have to release the egg and sperm, where the fertilization is going to take place outside the body, that is in the water. So spawning is the process of releasing egg and sperms here. Now later on what happens? These eggs, inside the egg, development of the embryo is going to take place. Young ones are going to come out, and after some initial development they again go back to their original habitat, that is the salty water, or otherwise you can say marine water over here. What about the parents then? The male and female who had laid the sperm and the egg, they die after few days or within few days. They die after spawning. And the larvae, they return to their marine habitat on metamorphosis. As I said earlier, after some initial development, what happens? They grow up to a certain stage and then they migrate to the salty water, that is their original home. The body is elongated, means it is long, elongated, and they do not have any scales, no presence of scales on their body surface. Neither they have paired fins, means fins are there but they are not in pair, that one will be there on the left side, the other one will be on the right side. They do not have paired fins over here. And the cranium that they have, the cranium and the vertebral column is made up of cartilage. That means they are almost like, you can say, we are going to discuss little later about chondric thighs. Means over here the skeleton, the vertebral column and the cranium, both of these structures are made up of cartilage. They don't have the presence of bones here. And for respiration they are having gills. And these gills are how many? 6 to 15 pairs of gill slits are present. Here you can see in this case 7 can be seen in this figure, but they are, some of them are which will be maybe larger in size, they must be having more than 7 here. As you can see in the figure, only 7 can be seen. But here we are talking about the respiratory organ, that is 6 to 15 pair of gill slits are present in the members of Cyclostomata, and the circulation is closed type. And the examples that are included here are, one of them is commonly called as lamprey. That is lamprey, what you can see here in the figure is lamprey. Scientific name is Petromyzon. Petromyzon. And the second one is hagfish, commonly called as hagfish, and the scientific name is myxine. MYXINE. So that was about the class which has been placed, only one class which has been placed under the division Agnatha. The next one we have to proceed to the second division, that is Gnathostomata, which are having the presence of jaw, which I am going to include in the next video. Thank you.